This program is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised.
Hello, this is the Horrified Podcast. That's Michael Combs.
That's Michael Martin.
And that's Keith Clanton.
Hello. How's your mama and them? Y'all, we are back with the final episode, episode 20 of our queer horror series. If you're a new listener, be sure to catch up on previous episodes wherever you get your favorite podcasts. It's been a minute since we've recorded because we got ahead of ourselves, which was nice.
We got behind and then we got ahead.
Yes.
And then we also got busy.
Busy.
Keith got a job for those keeping track.
I've been busy being spooky at the Spirit Halloween.
Vegas. You've gone places.
Michael, you've been busy too with Americana Fest in town.
Always
You had
busy
to
at the
work
store.
this weekend.
I did.
You had a Kylie listening party on
my
Thursday.
God.
I mean, I've been loving this weekend. It's Kylie.
It's Kylie
fever.
week.
Yes.
Can I tell you, I came home the other night and he had it on. And I was like, so how many times have you listened to this? Because I wanted to watch TV. And he was like, oh, just all day. But
That's what I do.
I do have a favorite song.
What one?
I don't remember. You'll have to tell me.
Things You Do for Love.
Things You Do for Love is my favorite song.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, though.
Yeah.
Did you break the tension?
Yes. I was ready to break the tension. I broke it Thursday night. I got that CD on Tuesday, and I waited till Thursday. I was good.
Look at you.
He did good. I was like, I would not have waited.
I
tell
wouldn't
him,
have either.
If songs leak, I don't listen to them. I don't want to hear them.
But my thing
don't.
is, you had a listening party while you were at work, right?
Yes.
I would have wanted to listen to it in peace because those people are going to be like, you're
Chatting
open for
and-
business. So
Yeah.
I just thought you would want to listen to it before you opened,
I wanted
the
to
store.
listen to it as they listened to it. Everyone in the store at that point was only there for Kylie. So
I'm funny about stuff like that, too. I don't like to listen to the tracks before they come out. Like,
yeah. I know
Kelly,
Keith
our girl.
does. No,
I don't
I
care.
don't.
I will.
Yeah, like, she be releasing clips of everything. And I'm like, damn, I would like a little bit of surprise. Like,
Exactly.
And I like to listen to albums. I feel like
They
the
put 'em
artists
in
put them in
order.
order
Yes.
on purpose.
They do.
And I don't want to listen to them out of order the first time I hear them.
They do. They do. I like to listen to them. I mean, it doesn't deter me from buying the album. So
Well,
I
you're
feel
going to buy
like-
Kelly's album regardless.
So I feel
Yeah.
like I can do both. But,
I mean, I get why people do it. It's just not something I want to do.
yeah. Well,
What was a big weekend for you both, too? Because Kelly had a deluxe chemistry release.
yes, she
Yes, she
did.
did.
Mine
Weekend
is
as well.
somewhere around here. I don't know where.
It's right there in that bag.
Okay. Well, I did get it. Yeah. So that's exciting.
Kelly and Kylie weekend, KK.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, speaking of KK, Kim Kardashian. No, y'all know here at the Horrified Podcast, we don't love a Kardashian, okay?
Or a
But-
Jenner, especially a Kylie.
Especially a Kylie. Kendall's the only one I don't mind,
I agree.
but she doesn't like.
She's not like the other
fame
ones.
hungry like the rest of them.
No.
But American Horror Story started, so we were just talking about this before we turned the mics on. But Mike hasn't watched it yet.
No, but we can talk about it. It doesn't matter to me.
I was not gonna watch. I was like, I'm probably not gonna watch it. I'm just kind of over American Horror Story. I didn't mind the first episode. I mean, we did cave and watched it because
We
I was
did.
very curious, yeah. What did you think about it?
I mean, I like it. I don't know how I feel about Emma Roberts, to be truthful. She kind of always plays the same character to me, and she always has this, I don't know, this undertone of bitchiness to her, which I think is probably from her real persona.
I totally think that.
And
She's
I'm not
a little whiny.
Yeah, and I'm not a huge fan of her boyfriend, Matt Zuckery, who I know from Gilmore Girls. And I certainly don't like Kim Kardashian.
Is
but,
that Logan?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Logan.
God, he is Oh, wait, he's in the show as her boyfriend.
Yes.
I was like, wait, what? How did I
No,
miss?
not real life boyfriend. In the
Okay.
in the show as her boyfriend. And then the thing I hate the most is I didn't think Kim did a bad job, and I didn't want her to do a bad. I wanted her to do a bad job.
I was the same way. I thought, I mean, she's not that bad. Like, I would not, like, if I knew nothing about Kim Kardashian and I saw her in this, I would not think this was her first acting role.
Yeah.
But on the flip side, I feel like she's very much playing a
Like her-
momager, right? So she's kind of
She has
playing
big
her mother.
experience.
And so I feel like how much acting is really involved in it. But I will say, like, her timing was good, like, in all of the dialogue between her and Emma Roberts' character, because she plays Emma Roberts' publicist.
Yeah.
But they're also best friends. Like, her timing was really good. And I was like, damn, okay.
Yeah. I was surprised and pissed off at the same time.
But like we mentioned this before we turned the mics on, but we all know how American. Well, this is just how I feel about it.
No,
personally,
we all
but,
feel the same way. We all.
like 4 episodes in, we're gonna be like, "What the fuck is going on?" And I'm gonna get bored, and then I'm probably gonna stop watching it, like I did the last 2 seasons. But if we carry through to the end, and that last episode, Ryan Murphy is gonna be like, "Give them everything on the storyboards."
And they tie up 15 storylines.
And it's going to be, 35 sub-stories. You don't know what's going on. And then it just ends abruptly. And you're like, well, that was terrible. Because I feel like his seasons always start off really strong. And then the end just gets very messy. That's just me.
No, it does.
Aside from
agree.
the first, like, couple seasons, like, I feel like my last, like, good season viewing of American Horror Story was probably Freak Show.
So 4.
Agree.
4? Is that 4?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I did also really like 1984. Is that what it's called?
Well, you liked Roanoke too, you said.
I did like Roanoke. There was a lot that went on, but I liked Roanoke.
I feel like season 5, Hotel, was when he started trying to do too much.
I agree.
Like, I liked the season, like, and I was excited. I remember when it was coming out, I was excited to watch it. But there was, like, so much happening that by the end of it, you were like,
There's too much.
Well, I feel like in all the other seasons, so that's a good point. Because I feel like Hotel had all these really iconic characters, and they, like, really went in on all of them, so it was hard to, like, keep, like, there was just too much going on. Whereas in all the other ones before, you had a lot of great characters. You got a little bit of like, just enough backstory, but your main story was, like, it was easy to follow. I don't know.
I mean, just to segue into other things, talking about Horror Story, Coven, I just went to New Orleans and saw all of the things, which
Yeah.
I bet
was
that was amazing.
awesome to see. Lalaurie mansion, Marie Laveau's house, all of that, the Coven house.
Yeah.
We stayed in a B&B that pretty certain had a ghost in it, so that was fun.
It's New Orleans for sure.
Yeah. There's ghosts all over the place.
Well, long story short here, I'll just give you the short version. But me and Ryan were laying in bed,
Doing what?
sleeping, and because we were exhausted, it was the first night there. We're laying in bed. I'm already KO'd. He's actually asleep too. He wakes up and our bedroom light is on, like the overhead light.
Uh-huh.
And we were like, he said, he was like, obviously no, we didn't go to bed with the light on. So he reached over because these were like high ceilings and there was a remote that controlled the light and the fan. Mm-hmm. So he reaches over, he grabs the remote, he turns the light off. He's like, I didn't really think too much about it. I was like, oh, that's weird. And I was kind of looking around. He's laying there for a few minutes. He kind of goes to doze back off and that light comes back on, just on its own. Then he kind of freaked out a little bit. Then he really freaked out when he went to reach for the remote and the light went off by itself.
Oh.
That was when he woke me up. And he was like,
Something's going on.
I don't know what's happening in this room. And I was like,
visitor.
I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, the lights just keep coming on and off. And I was like, what? And I was like, well, what do you want to do? You want to like walk around and say? He's like, no. And I was like, well, I'm going to have to get up because now you woke me up and I got to pee. So I got up and just kind of, I'm not particularly afraid of the spirits and things.
No.
Like, I talk to them if I feel like
They're there.
You know, if I feel like they're there, they're making themselves known for whatever reason, I want them to know that I'm not a threat. So I will converse. I feel crazy doing it, but hey.
It's something.
Look, some people talk to themselves, so
And their dogs.
and their dogs. I have pet.
You should have
talks with my
downloaded one of
dog,
those
so-
ghost apps and
Yeah, like the temperature. Like
yeah,
the-
and then maybe you could talk and see what words populated. That'd been kind of fun.
Oh yeah. I don't know about that though.
I have a
know.
similar story. I'm not going to share it,
Oh.
but it happened at a motel, and what happened to you happened to me, and it did freak me
I
out.
feel like at that point I would have just unscrewed the light bulbs.
I don't know.
If it was, but I guess it didn't like keep happening. So
Well, yeah, like after I was like, I told him, I was like, I feel like after, because we went downstairs and we were eating breakfast. And as we were sitting at the table eating breakfast, like something fell in the room upstairs. Me, him, and Ashley were all downstairs. Like, there's nobody else here.
Yeah.
So, okay. But I told him after we acknowledged it and we were like, hey,
we're just here chilling.
yeah. And then like when we would go to leave the house, I'd always be like, bye, ghost, see you later. Like,
You know, probably not a bad idea.
No.
Just be like, hey, we're here to chill. Do what you need to do.
yeah.
We're not here to bother you. Yeah.
But I mean, you know, obviously there are bad spirits that
Yeah.
Well, I think you would have felt if it was a
aren't
bad
so
spirit,
happy.
though.
Yeah, like it didn't feel heavy in the house. That's why I was like, I mean, it wasn't like they were trying to like grab my CPAP mask and strangle me or something.
Could you imagine? I don't know. That would have been a hard one for me not to laugh at. That fucking CPAP machine.
That's probably why you didn't know anything was going on.
Yeah, because you had the CPAP on. All right. Well, y'all, we could sit here and chit-chat all day, but I've got a question for y'all.
Okay.
Yes.
Have you ever been thrown into the wilderness to practice traditional gender roles after being sent away to a backwoods summer camp known for practicing conversion therapy?
This is America.
Not since my time in Montana.
I was going to say, I think I came very close to going to one of these camps at one point. Oh, yeah.
Oh.
I had to go see this is like totally, I guess it's kind of on topic. But at one point, I had to go see a counselor. This was when I was 17. And of course, she was like a Christian counselor. Terrible, like crater face. Okay. And I just remember hating her. Very typical, like counselor. Like, well, how do you feel? Well, what do you think? Well, how does that make you feel? Yeah. Anyways, hated her. But then she told me there was a group that meets in Franklin, Tennessee, no doubt. And, you know, they can work with you to really not be the way that I am. And I said, no, thank you.
Yeah.
I politely declined.
And how old were you?
Did you
17.
politely decline?
Well,
This is you.
She said, you know, that we could change or whatever. And I said, let me ask you a question.
And I remember this story.
I said, let me ask you a question. And she said, sure. And I was like, you telling me that I can choose to be gay or not is like me telling you to go lick a woman's pussy. Like, it's not going to happen, right? And then she said, well, I think we're done. And I never went back. But, yeah.
I'm sorry.
And look at me. I turned out great, y'all. I turned out great. Okay, well, today we're in luck because we are talking about they, them.
They/them. Come on.
They/them.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm guessing that some of you You're not happy. Maybe you don't fit in. People make fun of you. Well, I can't make you straight, but you give us this week, and we might be able to help. Boys' cabin over there, girls' cabin over there.
I use they, them pronouns, as in they can't believe they're at this camp.
I have zero interest in not being gay.
There's no judgments in this room.
Sometimes I wish I was invisible.
I would understand it a lot more if there was Bible thumping and queer bashing.
Do you even believe in any of this? Come in, please.
Do you think your parents are disappointed in you?
Sometimes.
So what do? You try to make yourself special. You become they.
Today, we're going to be exploring traditional gender roles.
Look how long they've been doing this.
It's time to play.
This could get a lot worse.
Where's my killer?
We need to get out of here.
Taste?
Just enjoy the sunshine and work on your tan.
They/them.
All right, They/them was released in 2022. It was written and directed by John Logan, and it stars Kevin Bacon, Theo Germaine, Anna Chlumsky, whatever, and
My
Carrie,
girl.
my girl, Veda, and Carrie Preston,
True Blood.
who I love. So Michael, why don't you go ahead and like kick us off on this journey we're about to take?
I feel like
into
there's a
Whistler
lot.
Camp.
Take us to
that
camp.
happens in this movie. So the credits do open with some black and white old-timey photos, and then we are introduced to Bertha. I just made up that name.
Her name's Molly.
You do not know her name is
Her
Molly.
name is Molly because
You do not know her
somebody
name is
later
Molly
pretending
till.
to be Molly.
Well, you just ruined the whole damn movie.
Well, I'm sure people have seen it already. Bertha.
Bertha's driving through the back country listening to what I assume is a book on tape about some horror something or another.
Yeah, she had a CD player in her car, which made me think, how long ago was this supposed to happen? Because she's got like an old school CD, like one that you would get installed. Like you'd go
Yeah.
to like, I don't know, like
Circuit
Sonic
City?
Express. Yeah, Circuit City, pick it out. And then like your dad would install it for it. That's what it looked like, right?
Yes.
I had one of those.
I think we all
Take
probably
the
all
face
did.
plate off.
Yes, so no one steals it.
Steal it. God.
She has a tire blowout. She gets out to investigate and discovers some nail strips. Then she hears a noise and discovers a very bad CGI deer.
Very bad CGI deer.
Then she gets in the car.
Well, wait. We gotta talk about the flat tires and the no cell
Okay.
phone service. Because when she gets out of the car, she looks at her phone. Obviously, she has no cell phone service. And I thought, wow, how original. Flat tires and no cell service. I know where
Yes.
this is heading.
Very true.
I mean, at least they explain the flat tire. Most of the time, we don't even get that.
That is true.
Yes.
We did see the spikes in the road, so we knew that it was intentional, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So she gets in her car. She hears a noise. She hits the brakes and sees an axe-wielding masked man, murderer.
That was.
We've all seen this
I don't
horror
think I would've
movie
thought to
and know what happens next.
Yeah, well, okay. So, let me just say this. I think the opening to this movie, because this is our second, Michael and I have both seen this. Mike has not, so this was his first viewing. When the opening happened, I was like, okay, although very typical, this looks like it could be a very promising slasher movie. Mm-hmm. Right? That was what my immediate reaction was to it. Now I want y'all to think about that, and we'll revisit it later. Okay.
Got it. A bus. I put a bus of kids, young adults, because at that point you do not know their ages,
You don't.
pulls into a camp called Whistler Camp, where they respect, renew, and rejoice.
Yeah.
So
I have comments on that.
out
later,
comes
but
a bunch of oddballs and misfits and a little bit of this and that.
a little bit of everything. There's a little bit of everybody.
Yeah.
Like there are some kids that look like, okay, well they're probably gay or trans or whatever, but then you have your jock guy, you've got your little pretty white girl with blonde hair, like, so it's a little bit of everything.
Then you've got about 10 kids that we don't know about.
Yeah, they don't have any speaking roles.
Very much
And then
so.
they just kind of disappear in the shadows.
Yeah.
We don't know who they are or anything about them.
We are introduced to the camp owners and counselors, owner Owen Whistler and his wife, Dr. Cora Whistler, activities director Zane and his wife, Sarah, camp nurse Anna Chlumsky, because I did not remember her name,
Molly.
and groundskeeper Balthazar.
Balthazar. What a
Yes.
great name.
Yes.
The groundskeeper
And you forgot
Balthazar.
Duke.
Oh, Duke, the old dog Duke, yes. My favorite.
My favorite character.
Yes.
Hands down, my favorite character. I will say when they come up to camp and you see all of them on the porch there, that was a really good shot that they did because they all look so happy and welcoming. And then Kevin Bacon comes out and all his Kevin Bacon-ness.
With that great hair that he's had since 1997.
Yeah, but here's the thing about Kevin Bacon. When he was younger, I didn't find him attractive at all. Like, at all. He did not, like, Friday the 13th. I think about him in Friday the 13th and, like, Footloose. Not a handsome guy to me, okay? But the older he's gotten, I think now he's a very handsome man.
Well, he's also what I would say is natural. He's definitely had nothing done
No,
to his face.
he looks great,
Yeah.
right? I think
Yeah,
he
I mean,
looks great.
I'm sure he puts makeup on for movies, but that's probably about it.
Yeah,
Like,
he isn't getting
yeah.
Botox and facelifts and injectables.
And he's married
No.
to what, Kira Sedgwick?
Yeah,
Kira
they've been
Sedgwick.
together for
I
a
like
million years.
her too.
Yeah, well, and
so.
Sosie Bacon is his daughter who was in Smile. And she's actually going to be at off topic, going to be at Monster Mania Con. And I'm like, do I want to go meet Sosie Bacon? I think I might.
We loved that movie.
That was
so-
a great movie.
Yeah.
But I like Kevin Bacon, though. I think he's pretty good. I just like Kevin Bacon.
Yeah. So
Hollow Man,
Wasn't he like the producer of this movie or something too?
he may have.
he may have been.
I'm pretty sure he was like
I know
one of
Jason
the-
Blum was, but so Owen introduces the camp as some place inclusive with no judgment. The campers are asked to hand in their phones, computers, medicine, and narcotics.
He seems really nice right off the bat.
That whole thing does not seem like a
genuine.
No, it doesn't seem like a actual conversion camp to
Well,
me.
see, I think for me, I feel like watching it even more so the second time. I think I picked up on more stuff the second time watching it. But I thought Kevin Bacon seemed very genuine.
He did.
And I thought, then why are all these kids here?
Well, that was my whole thing watching it just the first time because so a little precursor to everything. The little paragraph when you go to watch this movie was very misleading.
I think the trailers were misleading a little bit.
So because I mean they pretty much advertise it as LGBT group going to conversion camp being stalked by a killer. So
Right,
that's what I went into.
which
but
is not the case at all.
no, and I was already, maybe this is how I would be had I gotten off this bus. I definitely would have been very skeptic.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I mean, I guess I can get along with him being a little genuine, but I was also just side-eyeing him like,
This seems a little too good to be true.
Yeah. Well, even the whole scene with Jordan, right? Jordan
Which we'll
saying
get to next, yeah.
that they use they them pronouns. They're not sure which.
They're trans and they're non-binary.
Yeah, they're not sure like which campsite should I go to.
Cabin, yeah.
And Kevin Bacon says, well, why don't you bunk with the boys, see how you feel, and then we can talk about it. So he seems very accepting.
And that's not how I imagine a conversion camp would
No,
be.
not at all.
no, also, I kind of, like, one of my first thoughts was, okay, if this is supposed to be like, I mean, he says we're not trying to turn you straight. We're trying to make you be the happiest version of yourself or whatever he
Right.
said. I'm like, But we all know that's not right.
Yeah, because
And
the whole point of them going there is because...
so I was like, why are they putting all the same sex in the same cabin? That was my first thought. Like, why wouldn't this be at least like a co-ed type,
mixed gender,
whatever? But like, by all means, let's put all the boys in a
who
cabin
have gay
together.
feelings and all the lesbians
who are
Like-
attracted. Well, even the one kid. I
didn't even think about that.
Well, I don't remember the one kid's name, but he even makes a comment about the jock guy being sexy or something.
Was it Toby?
Who's Toby?
Was it the black kid?
The black guy that
Toby.
wears the necklace?
Yeah.
Toby.
Yeah, like he makes a comment about Stewart, whatever.
It is Stewart, but he goes by Stu, yeah.
Yeah. And then right off the bat, Stewart's like, meh. Like you
Just
think,
like that.
literally. And you think, when you're watching it, you think, okay, so like Stewart's the one that's really like, he's the butch guy that like,
Wants
maybe
to be
he
straight.
really wants to be there. But look, at the end of the day, they all go, like, whatever. We can just kind of glaze through over this. But, like, you pretty much find out they're only there because of their parents in some way, shape, or form. Right?
Yeah.
Except for one of them, which comes up a little later.
So, as you already said, the campers have to go to their respective cabins. We are introduced to Jordan, who is our main camper, who is trans and non-binary. Then everyone meets up in the common area and they sit in a circle. They're asked to share why they are there. We find out that the main campers' names at this point are Jordan, Alex, Toby, Kim, Veronica, Stu, and Gabriel. Some want to be there and others do not.
Well, I think the only two that really want to be
Stu.
there is Stu and Kim.
And Kim.
Kim.
Yes.
Because they want a normal life. They're your like stereotypical like cookie cutter guys and girls, right?
Well, they look like they're the two that would be together in
Yeah.
Totally.
I just want to be loved.
I just want to be like everyone else.
So,
Why would you want to be like everyone else? That's so boring.
it certainly is.
But they're young. They don't know,
They're young. And at this time, that's kind of when we figure out how old they are.
Well, yes, because they
Some
talk
are
a lot about
college
their parents, so it
age.
makes me think they're like 17, 18,
Maybe
19, maybe a little older. Yeah.
maybe high school,
Yeah.
seniors, freshman, sophomore, college. Yes. So then they all go back to their respective cabins, and
I already know.
we
where
see
you're
a face cream montage.
I love the face cream. I thought that was funny because Toby is
Putting on his
moisturizing,
night cream.
and then Toby gives some to Jordan, and then the straight guy's like, nah.
And then
And he turns
Stuart
over.
and Gabriel.
And Gabriel's putting some on, and I'm like, dude, like, how do you think
You
we
gotta
all look
moisturize.
this great? You gotta moisturize.
Exactly.
You gotta moisturize, bruh.
So, Alex wakes up very early and goes to take a shower. As she is showering, Sarah, one of the camp counselor, walks in on her and ends up taking her to Owen. We find out that she is also trans, and then she is forced to go to the men's cabin.
Which was really shitty.
Yeah.
Can I tell you? Sarah is a fucking
bitch.
cunt.
Oh, bitch and a half.
Hated her.
Yes.
And like, what's her boyfriend's, her fiance's name?
Zane.
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 Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing with Zane. He's also not great, but like, he doesn't even come across like he's a nice guy. He looks like a douchebag. He acts like a douchebag. Like, that's fine. But Kim seems like she's a
Sarah.
sweet...
Sarah?
Sarah? Fuck my life. Y'all, I don't know these people's names.
There are a lot of characters.
Look, I'm going to tell you right now in my notes, she's just girl counselor. I don't know what her name is.
That's how it is in my notes, too.
Girl counselor. What's her name? Sarah?
Sarah.
Sarah, the girl counselor.
Not Veda.
Not Veda. Yes, not Veda. I know her name. It's Molly. But she's a bitch, and she seems so sweet. And this happens multiple times, I feel like, in the movie, where she comes across so sweet. But then she's a fucking...
Turns.
I'd kill her.
She is a cunt.
I wouldn't kill her. I wouldn't kill anybody. I wouldn't hurt a fly.
So, they then go to an obstacle course. a building program, and Alex shows up wearing Jordan's clothes, as she doesn't have boys' clothes, and Jordan is wearing her dress.
Which I loved.
I loved that
whole
too.
I did. Well,
thing.
Here's, okay. The one thing that stood out to me, when Jordan says clothes, really weird to me. And Jordan was like, we can get you some clothes. Does anybody have any clothes for Alex? Can Alex borrow some clothes?
Then Toby.
And I was like, calm down. We got it. But then Toby said yes.
Not any of my
but
vintage.
none of my vintage.
None of my
That was
vintage
funny.
clothes.
I like Toby.
Yeah.
I think Toby's probably my favorite counselor. No, or camper. But I also really like Alex too.
Yeah.
They're the best. I mean,
They're
the
the
ones.
best two characters. Yeah.
They are. So they do this, I don't know, obstacle course. Is this where they make bracelets?
Well, this is the camp montage, y'all. So it shows a little bit of everything.
I love this.
They're making bracelets. They're jumping over stuff. They're climbing ropes. They're
Jumping
helping
through
each
tires.
other. They're helping each other.
Yeah.
Because Jordan's
It's
up
a
at the
learning
top and helps
exercise.
Toby come up, and Zane's like not happy about it.
No, he's pissed.
Fuck Zane.
I was just waiting for Posh Spice to walk by.
Me too.
Not caring.
Yeah. Push down her little black dress and keep walking.
So after all this, Alex ends up breaking into the nurse's office and is found by, I'm sorry, what's her? I just put Anna Chlumsky.
Molly.
Molly finds her. We find out Alex is looking for she is looking for her hormones.
Estrogen hormones.
And Anna gives them to her and says it's their little secret.
Well, I think it's funny at first because she's like, I need my Zoloft. And Molly's like, Zoloft is a very powerful drug. And I was thinking, bitch, I was on Zoloft for like 2 years. It did nothing. So I switched to Lexapro. Zoloft is not that strong.
I mean,
and it'll make you gain weight, y'all.
Yeah.
Trust.
I mean, grant you, I've never been in this kind of a situation. But, I mean, are they allowed to just be like, hand over your medicine?
I don't think so. That's some kind of...
No. But considering this is
some
a conversion camp, I would say...
They do whatever the hell they want.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be a bad outcome if that happened in real life.
Well,
take everyone off their antidepressants.
Well,
Kevin Bacon's character is on the Chamber of Commerce, so he can do whatever he wants.
Exactly.
He does mention that later in the movie, by the way. He's on the Chamber of Commerce. Well, fuck me. I don't know.
This is where we do find out Alex's story, which is sad. The only reason she's there is because she loves her little brother.
Yes.
And she has to be there because otherwise her parents are going to not let her see her brother anymore, which is sad.
Very sweet, though.
Yes.
She's doing this just so she can remain in contact with her brother.
And of course, this is also, we see the soft side of Molly. And you're just kind of like,
you're like, oh, maybe she's
so you're like
she's a
good
person.
counselor.
Yeah. Definitely not like the rest of them.
No.
Not like Sarah and Zane.
Nothing like Sarah and Zane. Girl and boy counselor. No, yeah, she pushes the medicine and she's like, this will be our little secret or whatever. And I was like, okay, you go, Molly. I like her.
Well, I actually have in my notes, I was like, I'm glad that they went this way because I really didn't want to hate my girl.
Yeah, how do you hate Veda?
So they are then woken up in the middle of the night, handcuffed together.
Wait, can I say one thing really quick before you move on? I'm so sorry. Something it's really important that Molly says, because Alex says, she's asking, like, why are you letting me do it? And Molly says, well, I believe in healing. That's all. And that is a big foreshadow.
True.
Okay.
So then they are woken up in the middle of the night, handcuffed together, and taken into the woods.
Mm-hmm.
And what are they told to do?
Sleep there.
No, they're told to
part ways. Everybody go in a different direction.
In 10 minutes, and walk for 10 minutes, and then stay there.
Yeah, they're pretty much camping with nothing.
Yeah, handcuffed to each other with, completely helpless, essentially.
Yeah, I thought that was a really stupid exercise because, again, a lot of them are boys and boys together and girls. And I'm like, you think they ain't going to do a little hanky-panky out in the woods when nobody's watching them? Well, somebody is watching them.
Well, our little mass killer shows up for a second.
Our little mass killer does show up for a second.
I'm the type of... Well, first of all, I wouldn't be going to a camp. Second, I'm also the type of camper that if you told me to walk 10 minutes in any direction, I'm going to walk right back towards my cabin.
10 minutes to my cabin.
Like, I'm going to go right back to bed.
All right.
Handcuffed to whoever's with me.
That's true. Y'all didn't clarify, so I walked 10 minutes back to my cabin. But really, that was just a big old fucking diversion.
So they could go through their shit.
Sarah and Zane could go snoop.
I think
Carrie Preston.
Cora.
Cora.
It goes through the stuff
too.
too.
Zane, do
no,
we?
it's just Sarah and Cora.
And Sarah.
Sarah and Cora. Yep.
Being little snoops.
Trifling assholes.
Yeah. So after all this, they are brought back. There is a therapy session. Jordan goes to therapy. All I put is Jordan has therapy and Dr. Cora is a bitch.
Okay, so here's my thing about this. Carrie Preston's role in this movie, even after this, is very small. But I would like to go on record and say that she had the best performance by far. Even if it was just the scene. It was ridiculously good. I mean, because she really was using, like, some psychology to, like, fuck with Jordan. And she did it so well.
And was successful, really.
Yeah, you see Jordan after the fact crying in the cabin.
Yeah, she says, you're not even a freak. You're nothing.
You're just a dyke or something.
Oh, yeah, at the end, yeah.
And I was like,
can you admit that? You're not what you are. You're just a pathetic dyke. Oh, my God. She eviscerated her, but in like the calmest, nicest.
Well, then after that, she said, all right, we're finished. We'll see you next time. With that big smile on her face.
Thanks, Arlene.
Yes.
No one will love you. That's what it is. No one will love you. You're just a scared, lonely, ugly dyke.
Damn. Scared, lonely, and ugly.
Yeah.
I've been called a dyke before, but I'm not ugly.
Oh, my God.
And I sure as hell ain't scared.
Well, so, okay, prior to Jordan going in there, though, who's coming out?
Gabriel.
Crying. So we kind of went into it and I was like, oh, so this is going to be
rough.
Yeah, it's going to be rough, which we'll talk about him later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after all this, we're back at the boys' cabin, and we now have a Pink song montage.
We get a flash mob!
Yes.
Okay. Here's my thing with this. The first time I watched it, I was like, oh, I hate all of this. Second time I watched it, I was like, okay, this is actually really cute. Because they're all singing Pink's Perfect together. Alex, I think, is the one that started it, right?
Yeah.
Because she's reciting some lyrics.
And her and Jordan are talking, and then
they all get into it. And then even Stuart, of all people,
he gets sliding on the floor.
Yeah, and they all sing Perfect.
Oh, my God.
And it was perfect, no pun intended. But Kevin Bacon doesn't think so.
While Kevin Bacon's looming in the distance.
He does not like it.
Watching them through the doors.
So, after all
He's
this...
like, damn, Stuart just did a floor slide. I got to get
these
to
queers.
him.
So, after all this, Jordan gets up during the middle of the night and goes through Owen's desk.
Which I thought was a little weird. Because obviously you're at a conversion camp, right? But I want to know, like, what possessed him to be like, I'm just going to go be nosy and snoop through. Like, you know what I'm saying? I thought that was a little odd. Especially after, I mean, at this point, they've only been there for, like, maybe 2 days.
Well, I thought
that... day? Yeah, it hasn't been that long.
Because him and Alex were handcuffed together, right?
Yes.
So when they were down there, wasn't that when he told her, they kind of came to the conclusion that something's off.
Yeah. Well, and I think are they the ones that saw the killer in the woods?
And he yelled, like, who is that? Or
whatever.
Who
are you? Backs up and all nothing happens.
So, like,
disappointing.
I assume that's the catalyst to him wanting to research or whatever.
Well, they find a bunch of photos where obviously people have been abused and beat and all kinds of stuff. at that camp.
Well, it was weird because I thought, too, like, all these kids are, like you said...
Young.
Well, the ones in the photos look young.
Young.
Like...
8,
like
10,
Yeah, I was going to
12.
say like 10 years old.
Yeah, they look young. So, not that confused me. It just made me think, okay, well, maybe they have them come in different groups or whatever. But
Which they could. And then Molly walks in.
Yes.
And
all-knowing Molly.
Basically says this is our secret and lets Jordan go.
Yeah.
Is there any moment in this scene where she's like... seems surprised herself? Was that in this little moment?
No, I don't
think so.
I don't think so.
I didn't remember if like she was surprised at all at the pictures and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, no, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think at this point, like Molly knows what's going on, right?
Right.
So I don't think she's surprised.
Molly's aware. So I should say, as Jordan was going into, I don't know, Owen's office or whatever that building is, Baltazar is coming out. So now we get a Baltazar scene. Baltazar is in his room, and he's watching on his computer a camera that he's set up in the woman's shower.
And he loves ventriloquism.
Oh my God, there's so many
It's weird.
dolls.
He's got ventriloquist dolls all over
Everywhere.
the place. All over the place. And you're like, okay. Like, I like ventriloquism too, but that's
You don't
a lot.
have 150.
I don't. But yeah, he's watching them. And then...
He gets his face in the computer.
Yeah, face
multiple
slammed
times
into the computer. Which, I mean, it was kind of foreshadowed that he was a little bit of a pervert because earlier on
He was
he's like
watching
oogling
someone.
Alex.
That's
And
what it was.
Veronica called him out.
Yes.
Which, this was also the point where I had two thoughts. One, we're at 52 minutes, and this is the first kill I've gotten.
Second.
Well, outside of the opening.
Yes.
So I was like, man, this took a while to get
First
where
camp
we're going.
kill.
And then two, I was like, well, wait. We're not killing the campers?
Nope, we're just killing.
So I was like, okay.
So this is taking a different turn.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Because again, like you said, it's the synopsis is a little misleading.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So we now have our traditional gender roles scene where the girls go off and make pies and the boys go off and shoot guns.
Yes. I love Toby in this scene, by the way, where he's like posing with the gun.
Literally.
I love him.
Ryan sat through like half of this movie, and when it got to that, I just literally LOL'd, and I was like, you literally know that would be me.
That would be
like, there's no way.
Yeah.
I'm not a gun-toting... No.
I would be like Jordan, for sure. Just I wouldn't hit as many bullseyes.
That didn't surprise me, though. He came from a military family. We already
Right.
knew this at this point. Didn't surprise me that he was a
Yeah.
good shot.
Well, while they were snooping, they found the picture of his family, right? And I
Yes.
guess there's a photo of him with his brothers and his dad, but he's a little girl in the photo. So you
know.
Yeah, you know.
From a military family.
Jordan knows what's up. He can shoot. Well, they can shoot a gun.
And Zane has a pissing contest with him because
Yes.
Zane has to be macho and
Of
thinks
course,
that he's
some
better.
big alpha.
And guess what? Jordan obliterates him. So
Sure does.
Which
And
I
short
loved.
some like little... The
Oh, yeah, pine cones off
pine
the tree.
cones
Yeah.
off the tree.
Just for like an added bonus.
Yes. And while all that's going on, the girl.
Toby's meanwhile is, work queen!
That is true. I was going to say
Yes,
they were
girlfriend!
they were making cherry pies or some kind of blueberry pie or something.
Yeah.
The girls.
Oh, well, like when they picked Jordan to... It's so tense, and that's why I guess I love Toby so much. Because, like, in all these moments, you're, like, kind of
He's
getting
the
into it. And then all of a
comedic
sudden, he's like,
relief.
you better!
Yeah, you better beat him, girlfriend. Yeah, it was funny. I like Toby. But yeah, so the girls are making their pies or whatever, and Sarah
Starts
is
flirting.
being a total cunt and a flirt,
Starts
with
flirting with
Kim.
Kim.
right?
Your pie looks delicious. It looks so
I bet it's so wet inside.
and succulent and
I'm gonna eat it. So gross. And then you think too, like, okay, we're not 100% sure how old this girl is. She could be 17.
Literally.
And how old are you, bitch? Like, you need to back
You're
off.
like 35.
You're at least
38.
30.
No, I think, she's older than that, I think. But yes, at least 30.
I mean, to be fair, I thought Gabrielle was like, who is this 36-year-old man at camp? Anyway.
While this is all happening.
Yeah. It's like
Molly,
2 scenes playing out at once.
There's 3, because Molly goes into that dilapidated cabin.
Oh, every camp slasher has one. It's an old abandoned scary cabin.
It looks like it's from the Chainsaw Massacre. There's chains and shit all over the place.
Yes.
And then she finds a locked door. Yep. And as she finds that, Dr. Cora stumbles upon her.
What are you doing in here, Molly? This isn't
I'm lost.
This isn't up to code. Not up to code. You got weapons in here.
There's whips and chains and
sides.
Scythes.
Scythe. Nice.
Scythes.
I don't know. Something sharp.
Torture devices.
Yes, that's a great way to put it.
And then in my next notes, it just says, "Poor Toby."
Yeah, poor Toby.
I didn't really. Why did he always gun for him? I mean, no pun intended. But like, even in the beginning in the circle,
I think it's because he's very comfortable.
I think
and
that
being flamboyant.
He hates that. He hates how comfortable
he's trying to knock his confidence down. I think.
Yeah, totally.
He tried to gain his trust with the whole Sondheim thing. And then tried to knock it down with this whole gun scene. So basically, do you guys want to say what happens?
You go ahead. It's just too much for me.
So the whole point of this gun scene is because they are men. They're
Killers.
Pre-programmed to shoot flesh. And
hunters.
They're hunters. Mm-hmm. And Owen tells Toby that he has to kill Duke, the poor old dog who's just sitting there.
Well, he does say that Duke has cancer.
I don't believe that
he's
for
in a lot of pain.
second.
Well, I don't either, but I'm just saying he does say that. Duke looks pretty fucking happy sitting in that field. If you ask me, he's smiling and panting. And
I don't think that if that dog was actually ill, he would have
not as ill as he said.
He would have even walked out there.
No,
with them. Because who said it when they were walking the first time?
I think it was Gabriel that said that dog's sick.
I had a dog once, and that's how he walked something.
Yeah, it was all putting fucking shit in their brain.
Yeah.
So, as he's screaming at Toby to shoot the dog, Jordan ends up shooting the dog. And then points it at Owen.
Oh, and he should have just pulled the trigger then.
And he's a better person.
I will say I do love that scene because he points it at Owen, and then he puts it up in the air, shoots it, and then just flings that rifle and walks away. That was a good scene.
It was a good scene. So while all this is happening...
While Owen says, I found my killer.
Right? Yes.
Uh-huh.
Well, we already knew Jordan was good. But anyway, while all that's happening, Sarah asks Kim...
She wants to eat her pie.
To stay over because they want to...
I want to
taste your pie, your cherry pie.
And she's pretty much coming on to Kim.
Like she puts some of that pie in Kim's mouth.
And Kim is very uncomfortable.
Yes. And then runs off to the dock, where then my next note is Veronica and Kim go muff diving on the docks.
Wow. Wow. Can I first, let me just say, when she's sitting there and she's smoking a joint, right? Yeah. I'm like, who taught this bitch how to light a joint? Because that is like...
She's supposed to be from like a straight-laced...
Maybe that's why she didn't know, but I want to know where'd you hide that joint, girl? But it was like, when she sucked on it, I was like, I don't even see it lighting up.
I didn't either, but then smoke came out.
But then a little tiny, the weakest little
puff of smoke
came out of her mouth, and I was like, okay, maybe this is her first time smoking a joint, because she clearly
she knew what she was doing.
No, she didn't know how to light that thing. Half of it was like black from, like it burned. Anyway.
I was just...
I already knew they were going to get together, though. They had like this.
Yeah, I mean, they were building them up, but like at one point, at this point, I was like, well, first of all, you're really just going to do this out in the middle of the fucking day?
Literally.
Like, it is bright as hell.
Anybody could have
and
seen
y'all
them.
are just, there ain't nothing over you.
Panties come off.
No.
Like, y'all are just stripping like damn showgirls.
I was waiting for Dr. Cora to come in and be like,
excuse me.
And then my second thought was, if I don't get a male-on-male scene in this movie, after I just had to watch this, I'm going to be real pissed.
Well, so when they're sitting there and Kim's like, I'm just waiting for Jason Voorhees to come out of the woods. And Veronica's like, who? I was like, bitch, come on now. You don't know who Jason Voorhees is? I was disappointed.
It was a nice little nod to Kevin's movie, though.
It was.
True.
It was. And Veronica seemed to know what she was doing. Like,
right.
Kim was enjoying
this
herself.
is where we find out that Veronica is actually posing. She is a college student writing a thesis paper.
And she's posing to, like, she's going to, like, expose them, essentially.
Yes.
So it's an expose.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, honey, she has been doing what she do for a long time. She likes to do it.
She knows
what
she's
good at
doing.
it.
In the circle, she said she was bisexual, right?
Yes.
And she didn't want to be because she was a freak.
But
right.
she could be bisexual. She doesn't really say. But...
Well, she definitely don't show no interest in the boys.
None. But I was like, good for Kim. Good for her.
So...
Get it licked, honey.
Oh, my God.
What?
So,
live your life.
Jordan, Alex, and Toby make a plan to steal the bus and escape the next morning.
Yes, they do. That's right.
Originally, it was going to kind of just be them, and then, I don't know, someone says, we should probably ask everyone if they want to escape with us.
And I think at this point, like, Toby's and Stuart have kind of become friends, and they don't want to leave their friends behind.
Well, and much like the viewers, I forgot about everybody else.
Yeah.
So they were probably like, oh, wait, there's more campers?
Yeah.
True. I'm like, who are these other people? Yes.
They show up in the gender role scenes, but then you don't really.
So, Stu is swimming in the pond, and Gabriel shows up.
Dirty water, too.
It's Percy Priest Lake. Gross.
It is. It looks nasty.
Gabriel walks into that pond as if he was Tyra Banks on the Victoria's Secret's one-way catwalk.
He sure did. May I join you? What kind of accent
He
is that?
sashayed up into that water for real.
He did.
I was like, what the fuck was that?
But as soon as it showed it, you were like, oh, I know where this is going, like 100%.
But of all people, I did not expect Stuart to go for that.
Well, Stuart's just horny, though.
Well, then he says to Gabriel, you look like a woman. No, I don't. I don't know. I remember that.
I don't think Stuart looks like a woman, and this is just
You mean
me.
Gabriel.
Yeah, Stuart definitely doesn't look like a woman. But I don't think Gabriel really looks like a woman. I do think Gabriel, very interesting looking, right?
I feel like he's androgynous
Yes,
enough.
That's true. That's a good
So,
one.
like, he can kind of, like, he has enough of, like, his physique is very sleek and slender.
Oh, he worked. I mean,
and he has
fit.
the long hair.
And he's got the long hair. I think that they play on that.
He's definitely, like, to be as slim as he is, like, he's very toned.
Yes.
And which I guess, obviously, I feel like that's the kind of guy Stuart would go for, right?
Well,
like,
yeah, because
Stuart's a swimmer.
They're basically feeding this guy to Stu.
Yes.
Because he says that he's obviously attracted to men, but he wants to be attracted to women.
Yes.
So what are they going to do? Well, we're going to throw Gabriel at you because he's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
So.
Well, you got your scene then.
Yeah.
I did, and I was a little. I didn't like Gabriel, so that
Killed it for you?
Yeah.
So they go to the dilapidated cabin and fuck. And then Owen.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
They
they do.
fuck standing up. So then Owen and
Uncomfortable too.
I know. And then Owen and Zane show up.
Yes.
And then I felt bad for Stu.
Stuart was tricked.
Now I did have an aha like moment. I didn't see that coming.
Gabriel?
So yeah.
Well, I don't think I did the first time I watched it either.
Well, Gabriel starts talking about labels and says the only label I care about is Predator and Prey.
And which one are you?
Yeah. I was like,
He's like, I know which one I am, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that what he said?
Which one are
Yeah.
you? And that's about the time they come in.
And I was just like, I literally was like, no.
But you know, it's so shady. So Gabriel's obviously been working for them the whole time. So the dog being sick, like he knew, right? 'Cause
Yeah,
he
he's a
knows
plant.
them. When he comes out of Cora's office crying, like that was all fake. Because he seems to be very chummy with them, and we get more of it a little later on. I don't know that we'll like dive into it, but he seems a lot, super chummy with them. But I was just like, if this is a conversion camp, how are you so okay
with this one?
With him doing what he's doing, right?
Yeah, I find that weird.
Well, because I feel like I kind of think that Gabriel might be playing his cards right, where he's like kind of trying to save himself.
Maybe he's saying he's not gay, but he'll act as a...
Well, not even that. I just think that they're using him, and maybe he's turned it in a way to be like, well, this is for the greater good, so why don't you just keep me around? And maybe he's flipped that.
He's bought into the program.
Yes. His family.
Yeah.
And this way, he can still be gay, but also, like, not be converted.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
So Kevin and Zane take Stu into the back part of the cabin. Did I say Kevin?
Yeah.
Owen.
Oh, Kevin Bacon.
Yeah.
Because they're going to do...
Too many names.
Because they're going to do... I think he says aversion therapy.
Aversion. Could you imagine, though, if your last name was Bacon? That's such a weird last name. Anyways, go ahead. I was just thinking about that. I love bacon, by the way. But
oh, me too. Anyway. So basically, poor Stu gets electroshock therapy as he sees images of men and women come on the screen.
This made me very uncomfortable.
It was uncomfortable.
Like, actually, I looked at Ryan and I was like, I feel like this movie should have come with like a trigger warning to some degree, because I mean, I actually know someone that went through like conversion therapy and stuff, and like I just feel like if I had gone through it myself and I sat in on this movie,
you would have been uncomfortable.
It would have been a big PTSD moment.
Well, and again, we're not 100% sure how old these kids are. We know that he wants to go to college, so he's not in college yet. So he could be 17.
Yeah.
And that makes it even worse. It's like you're doing this to a kid. Like an actual kid. Because we don't know how old they are.
Yeah, and they keep turning that.
Yeah, he says to turn it up a little bit. And he does not turn it up a little bit. He turns it up a lot of bit.
And you can see like the
burn
striation.
Marks
the burn marks on his chest is...
I did. I felt really bad for him.
I didn't really like Stu up until this point, and then I did feel bad for him.
Yeah.
Well, and we also get a little bit of knowledge that apparently Zane went through this, and we see how he turned out. Isn't that what Owen says
a douchebag?
to him?
It turned into a douchebag,
which we're going to get to more on him and his
for sure.
girlfriend later.
Yes.
But
so after all this, they bring Stu to the nurse, and she threatens to expose them.
Yes, she sure does. And let's not forget,
this is where you get your favorite line. One of your lines, Chamber of Commerce.
Is that when he talks about?
Yeah, I have it right in my notes.
Oh.
They bring them to the nurse, and he calls them pervert kids.
Oh, and then Molly's like, I'm going to close this place down, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, I'm on the Chamber of Commerce. Big fucking deal.
Yeah.
But also, Gabriel shows back up, I guess, to Cora and Owen's cabin,
and she's doing her best Keith
and
Clanton.
Cora is cross-stitching.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, queen. You make that cross-stitch. And it says, respect, renew, rejoice, which, I mean, should I make a respect, renew, rejoice?
You might have to.
I don't know, y'all. I'm thinking about it.
And he gets a treat, a snack. What the hell was that?
I don't know what it was either.
It was like out of a cookie jar, but it wasn't cookies.
He's like, can I take two? We won't tell Owen. And I'm like, it's literally like a mini Butterfinger. Like, what?
It's one of those buttermints your grandma had on the table.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
Like a Werther's original?
Yeah, but those are good. Y'all don't even hate. Those slap.
No, I was thinking those little buttermints that were like that big and they were like pastel colors.
Oh, yeah, the ones that like melt in your mouth.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like a Smartie?
No, like those kind of like chunky mints.
Yes.
But they're like powdery, so like
everyone's
when you bite
grandma
into
had them
they
on a
just
little
kind of
candy
like
dish.
melt.
Oh, like that they serve at baby showers.
Yes.
Yes.
Those are good
Similar.
mints.
And the ones that come out with it like Christmas.
I'm not saying they're not
are-
bad, but grandmas always have them.
Yeah.
And the Christmas ones are like candy canes.
Okay, well, see, my grandma always kept certs in her purse, and I remember being
Certs
really
are good.
little at church, and she'd be going through her purse for like a tissue or something, and I'd be like, "Can I have a cert?" And she'd give me one.
I bet it was just like that too.
Yeah, it probably was. Meanwhile, I was like drawing pictures of the devil in the Bible, but whatever. I wasn't doing that, y'all. I really wasn't.
This is why you got sent to that therapist at 17.
Yes, exactly.
Probably.
So, Zane and Sarah are going through the kids' phones, and they start to fuck to shirtless selfies of Stu and Kim.
That is gross. So
Yeah.
they're like, he's like going through. Well, I feel like he's going through Kim's phone, and he'll find one, and he's like,
You like this one?
And she's like, ooh. And then she does the same thing for Stuart, and he's got all these shirtless photos, and Zane's like, ooh. So then he starts to. Well, they're not really fucking. They're like dry humping. Because he gets on top of her.
Oh, I thought they were.
Oh, I thought
in
he
it.
was like...
No, when it shows it, he's on top of her, like rubbing up against her. But his underwear are, you can see them. They're on. Like they're not.
Oh, I thought
fucking.
I mean, you pull
assumed
that tallywhacker
this-
out through the front.
Yeah,
He-
that's what I
this is-
assumed. The
Look,
way he was thrusting
And grunting.
and the way
and-
she was moaning.
I get it, but let's think about this. This is a conversion camp, right? They weren't fucking. This was like their way of like releasing by looking at their phone. I never thought they were fucking.
Oh, I
see,
just
I
thought
did.
that he was fucking and just thinking about Stu.
Well, he was
I'm with
definitely
you.
looking at Stu, but he was dry humping her, y'all. He was not fucking her.
So anyway, the mass killer comes and hacks him up.
Yes, best part of the movie.
Yes. Sarah, I feel like that's an homage to another horror movie, too. Couple people.
Having sex.
Yeah, and
And
the one
getting
at the
mutilated.
bottom looks up and sees that there's a killer there.
Yeah,
It's a Friday
every
the
Friday
13th
the-
I mean,
movie.
and
Every
come
Friday
on
the
now.
13th
You know
movie.
that they were fucking. That's the first rule of horror movies. You never have sex.
Yeah, but I really don't think they were. But anyways, we can move on from that. I really don't think that. I think they were just dry humping because they were losers.
Well, that they are. So then we see a scene where Gabriel is on a tube in the pond, and he finds dead Baltazar. Then
And he's eating his treat.
He is. He loves that buttermint. Then he is knocked out by the killer.
Mm-hmm.
And he awakens, chained to the chair, and he gets his electroshock therapy.
Payback's a
And that
bitch.
thing is turned up full
all
max.
the way, which I love. But this is also like when you're 100% sure. Okay, whoever this killer is knows what's going on.
Oh yeah. At this point, I was like, I mean, I didn't know who it was, but I was like, this has to be.
They're involved somehow.
I didn't think that it was one of the campers. I actually thought it was a past student or
Yeah.
past like an older camper.
Yeah.
That was just kind of coming back, and
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I kind of like this. I like where this is going.
Yeah, I know. I do love when he was being shocked. How like the blood would like kind of, like because
You could see it,
burned, but
yeah.
you could really see it come through.
Spreading, yeah.
I liked that. That was good.
Kim and Veronica decide to go for a midnight snack and
After
go
their
into the
little
mess
tryst
hall.
on the dock.
After
They
their
already
muff
had
diving.
I had a whole meal earlier on the dock.
Kim,
Tuna
I don't know how
sandwich.
Veronica's still hungry.
Right?
She had a mouthful.
And they find
All of
Zane,
them.
Sarah, Gabriel, and Baltazar dead as a doornail.
Chilling
Propped
on the picnic
up.
tables.
At the tables, yes. So then everyone that is still alive meets up, and the campers are instructed to get warm clothes, while Cora goes to get guns for Owen and her.
Meanwhile, they come back in their warm clothes, and they look like church cult cloaks.
Well,
Did you notice that when they're all back? They're get your warm clothes, and they're all back, and they all have these black cloaks on. And I was like, what in the coven bullshit is this? They're all wearing them.
it is true. So Anna
Y'all
goes.
about to do a seance? Y'all need to get on the bus.
Well, Anna goes. I'm sorry, Molly. Molly is supposed to go get the bus, and then Jordan asks Alex to take all the non-speaking actors away through the woods.
No, yes.
Basically, everybody that's there. There's
Everyone
a
that
lot
didn't
of
have a
them,
line.
too.
Everyone that did not have a line in this movie.
Extras. We're gonna need you to come through the woods with us, please.
We need you to huddle together in this scene. Look like a bunch of orphan children.
I can
Yes.
just
And
imagine
then-
that day on set. Okay, everybody,
This
that
is
is
your
a
big
wrap
scene.
for the 42 extras.
So Jordan goes to get a gun and hears Owen coming in. They hide in the closet and they discover a dead Cora.
Cora.
She's been killed.
And it's the final countdown. It is.
That was good.
Something
Owen is getting his handgun out of the desk when the mask killer shows up. And who do we find out that the killer is?
Molly.
But it's not Molly.
It's
no,
Angie.
That's the opposite.
What? No.
Is it?
Yeah,
Molly's?
That's her sister. Right?
Molly was the nurse that she kills at the beginning. Her name is Angie.
I thought she was pretending to be Angie.
No, she was pretending to be
Molly, but she's actually Angie.
Angie's her name. I wrote it down in parentheses so I wouldn't get confused later on.
And then she tells him why she's there. You don't remember me? You don't remember me.
I was 14 years old. Yeah.
And we find out she was at that camp and went
Sure
through all
was.
that bullshit.
Look, this was Anna Chlumsky's. This was her moment.
This was her moment. He can't see without his glasses. Where are his glasses?
That's what it is. You don't remember me, do you? I was 14. Chaired, burned. You burned all the good out of me.
Yeah, I mean...
And then it was suicide, self-hatred, pills, anger, revenge.
Yes.
Good old-fashioned...
Well,
good old-fashioned revenge.
She says respect, renew,
Rejoice, revenge. Which was really great, actually.
Yeah.
A fight ensues.
Yep.
Jordan comes out
Of the closet.
of the closet.
No pun intended.
The irony.
And then
While Cora died in one.
Yeah.
Yes, and
She
then
sure did.
poor Owen gets it on a rhino horn.
He does. Well, there's a little altercation there for a minute because
Yes.
Jordan's pointing the gun and Molly/Angie is saying, do it, blah. And he's like, I'm not going to do this. What does he say? No one needs to save me. He says, no one needs to save me. But then, of course, Molly's like, fuck that. And she pushes him into the rhino horns, which we didn't even mention earlier in Owen's office. He's got all these taxidermy
God, he
animals.
loves a
and it's
taxidermy.
like deer, like your normal stuff.
And then
there's
a
big
rhino.
fucking rhino. Like, where do you even find a rhino head?
Well, they needed it for this movie.
Yeah, apparently.
Because then he just say, I make those kids into what they would be, and then she slits his throat.
And then she gets arrested, you know?
She tries to talk him into joining. They were going to go. She's ready to go to every camp, conversion camp in the
Right.
United States.
She's ready to go on
And recap.
on a tour.
She's ready to go off.
Yes.
Which is... I got to the... Like, obviously, I was happy to see all of them get killed. Like, I didn't feel bad at all. But then I'm also like, well, you can't just go killing people, girl. Like,
Well, what's funny to
why don't
me,
you expose them?
How's that any better than what they're doing? You're
like when you think about it, it's like obviously. So the scene where we see all the counselors dead, and there's that big old argument with like Owen and the campers, and everybody's senses, like everybody's heightened, whatever, and Molly is involved in all of that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, if I don't really know, I don't know how she thought this was gonna play out. Like, because had Jordan not been there, what was her plan? Because I kind of would have liked to have known, because you handed off your phone willingly to Alexandra and told her, call the cops.
Here's my password.
So
there had to have been incriminating stuff.
well, not even
Or
that.
maybe
Just
not.
like you knew the cops were coming. So
Yes.
what was your
Well,
plan?
I almost feel like Jordan slowed her down a little bit, and had Jordan not been there, she would have just killed Kevin Bacon and then just rode off into the sunset.
I kind of agree with you.
Because everybody thinks she was thinking, she's telling her Molly. They think it's Molly. Nobody knows that she's really Angie. And I feel like she's probably thought about this. She's hid her, like kept her fingerprints off stuff probably, or...
So
I
I guess
think
she was just going to go off and continue to
think-
that, or she could have been like, I'm the only survivor of the camp massacre.
I think she
You think
would've
she
ran
just went off?
Yeah. Because...
Well, clearly she had a plan to do this at other camps.
Yeah.
So she was just going to be Molly the camp killer.
She was going to get her revenge.
Yeah, well, I mean, she did on them.
She did.
Rightfully so. They deserved it. All of them.
Well, they broke her, obviously, because she was a mess.
She was a mess.
So then the movie ends with Pink actually singing her song.
And I was like, okay, we've already heard this. So obviously they didn't want to pay to have any more rights to music in this movie.
Yes.
She used the same song twice.
And we get those conversations between the main people, right? Oh, well, so, okay, we didn't really mention this because we kind of like went through it. But the whole Toby running into the infirmary when he finds out that Stu is and they have like that sweet little moment. So at that point, because Toby's like my favorite character, so I was like, okay, well, I kind of thought when he went into the infirmary, I thought that like Stu was going to wake up and actually have succeeded in his therapy, and I thought he was going to like lash out and like do something to Toby. Thankfully that did not happen, but at the end of it I was like, okay, where are they at?
They're still in their holding hands.
Yeah, I was like, I just want to know where they're at.
Probably an ambulance.
But like, then we see Stu on the stretcher, like going out. So I was like, okay, well then they're good.
Yeah.
And I think, because they said the
EMTs
or whatever says something about him being family, and he's like, yes, he's family or whatever.
And they get on the ambulance.
He's going to let
together.
him get on the ambulance. Yeah.
So that made me happy.
Yeah, and Stu answers that question.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh. Yeah.
That's cute.
And then it's like, Stu really made a total. Like,
he accepts or accept himself.
Movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the movie's over.
Yeah. And I feel like Stu, even though he looks like a total douchebag, like he'd be a nice guy. You know, he's learned a lot about himself, made some friends.
Yeah, because I don't feel like most of the time you think about those, I mean, people like that are usually a bit more like aggressive. And I don't really feel like he was that aggressive.
Not at all.
Like,
he didn't try to like beat anybody up or like, no.
It was all internal for him.
Yeah, totally. Before we move on to our final thoughts, it's time for Michael's favorite segment for the last time this season, Horror Fried Theater. Mike.
Yep.
Set the scene.
So this is different.
Okay.
And I'm actually going to have your input on this.
Oh.
Because I guess we're just going to go out with a bang on this one.
Okay.
Oh, God.
So I actually have two scenes. I don't know if I want to do both of them or if I want to tell you guys what scenes they are and let you decide.
Okay. Well, this is a collaborative program.
So what do you want to do?
Let Michael choose.
What are my choices again?
You're either going to do both or you're going to pick one of the two.
One of the two.
You know he's going to choose one of the two.
He don't want to do both of them.
Okay, so...
You know what? No, we're going to do both of them now. You both just
tried
to pigeonhole me and stereotype me. We're doing both.
It's not stereotyping when it's true.
Okay. Well, I've got...
Are they long, though?
Well, let me tell you what the scenes are, and then you decide.
Okay.
So, the first scene is the sitting in the circle scene where everybody's talking.
Okay.
In the beginning.
Okay.
So...
That just seems kind of heavy, right?
Why are you here?
Yeah.
That whole thing. Well, it is, but then you've got those Toby moments that make it kind of funny.
Oh, okay.
So, you know, it has its moments. But it does go from Kevin asking, why are you here, all the way to Jordan's emancipation.
Got it.
So, that.
Okay.
Or we just have the big scene after all the counselors are found dead. Kevin comes running out. Fuck. He's arguing with Jordan, Molly, Toby, like the whole thing. Everybody's freaking out. So
I think that one would be more fun because there's a lot of serious stuff in that other one, right?
Right.
Yeah,
we want to have more fun with it.
Okay.
Just end scene.
Okay.
So we're just doing the one.
Okay. Yep.
All right. Well, in that case, hold on. Let me get rid of the other. Wait. No, it's this one. Because they're all together. So.
Did you secretly want to do both of them?
No, my original thought was that I was going to do the circle one because there was just so many people.
Yeah.
And it would have been easy. And then I started thinking, I was like, I mean, that's a lot of people. Because it literally, this the circle scene had 8 people.
Oh, wow.
For 3 of us. So it was a lot. Hold on. Well, I mean, I already kind of set the scene. So we know what scene we're doing. Mm-hmm. Characters. This was a little wonky, so I'm hoping this plays out well.
It's fine.
So I'm actually going to do Owen.
Okay.
Michael, you're going to do Jordan. Keith, you're going to be Alex. I'm going to be Toby. Michael's going to be Molly. And then honestly, that one little scene or line where Veronica and Kim literally just say whatever when Jordan asks about them shooting guns. And they just say yes. Let's just all of us say yes. Because I didn't want to give that to any person. So, all right. So that's where we're at.
Alexandra.
And I'll narrate.
Okay.
We ready?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Greetings, maniacs and madmen. This is Dr. Gangrene, physician of fright and Nashville horror host. Coming up next is everyone's favorite segment, Horror Fried Theater. Grab your popcorn and refreshments, pull up a slab, and get ready for the madness.
The power around the camp has gone off. Kim and Veronica have stumbled upon the dead bodies of all the counselors except Owen, Cora, and Molly. Owen is addressing the group outside the main hall. Everyone is on edge. Fuck. All right, listen to me. I need you to stay together. Go back to your cabins.
Fuck that. We need to get out of here. Don't you have a stat phone?
It's gone. The stat phone is gone. Oh.
They give us the funds.
Typo. Go ahead.
What was I supposed to say?
Guns.
They give us the guns.
You have the rifles. I'm not giving firearms to children. And you need to be quiet and do what I tell you to do.
No more. You're not telling us what to do anymore.
Owen shoves Jordan down on the ground.
Stop it, all of you. Owen, get the bus. I need you to stay with Stu, but we can get the others out.
Where's he?
He's in the infirmary. He was hurt.
Toby runs towards the infirmary.
Toby, wait.
Owen hands keys to the gun cabinet to Cora, and she runs off to get them for each of them.
Everyone, go get some warm clothes on and meet back here fast as you can. Stay together. Go.
Don't turn your back on them.
You think one of the kids did this?
All the counselors are dead. Open your fucking eyes. They're not the angels you think they are. Toby goes into the infirmary to see Stu laying there after his aversion therapy. They hold hands. They smile at each other. It's a moment. Cora's in the building getting guns out of the cabinet when the killer comes up behind her and kills her.
I'm not waiting around for that psychopath to show up with the bus. No, ma'am. I'm getting out of here. I'll fucking walk.
You really gonna walk?
Hell yeah.
Well, can you take all those non-speaking actors with you?
We see the group of kids that haven't been in the entire movie bundled up, scared to death.
It's gonna be safer if you're together. I'm gonna stay here with Stu and Toby. Alexandra, are you up for this? They're scared and it's a long way to town.
Honey, please. I'm a black transgender woman. I can do it in heels.
Here's my phone. My password is 0131. As soon as you get into some range, call the police.
All right, kids. Time to go. Come on. Right now, step up your pussies. Stay close to mama.
They all begin walking away from the others by way of Alexandra's flashlight.
Come on. All right. Stay close to me, y'all.
You guys go to the infirmary. Stay there. Don't leave. I'm gonna get that damn generator working, and I don't trust Owen and Cora.
Molly leaves Jordan, Veronica, and Kim.
You guys go ahead. I'm gonna go get the rifles.
Oh,
What?
What? No!
That wasn't the part.
It's okay. We did it anyway.
This isn't over. You know that, right? You go on ahead. I'll be right behind you. Do either of you know how to shoot?
Yes!
Of course you do.
They part ways and Jordan heads towards the main hall where they know the rifles are.
Insane.
That was fun.
So this is Dr. Gangrene saying goodbye and thanks for joining us here at Horror Fried Theater. See you on the next episode of the Horror Fried Podcast, and be sure and join me every Saturday night for Dr. Gangrene Sanitarium, Saturdays at 9 p.m. on Nashville's NECAT Channel 9 and simulcast on the NECAT Roku channel and drgangrene.com. And as always, remember to stay mad.
It's time for our final finger-licking thoughts, y'all, here at Horror Fried. We rate our films using the heat scale of a Nashville delicacy, hot chicken, on a scale of 1 to 5, no spice, mild, medium, hot, and Nashville hot. Michael.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to start with you because I want to know, like, if your thoughts on this movie changed from the first time you watched it.
Yes, before you even dive into that.
Okay.
Since both of you have watched it, I'm curious if you rated it on your first, what you would have rated it and what your rating is now, or if it just stayed the same.
No, I think for me, it definitely stayed the same. When I first watched this with Keith a year ago, I never planned to watch this movie again. I didn't really like it. I didn't think it was that good. For me, it's not the act. I don't think the acting's bad. It's everything else. The dialogue, the cliches. It's just not that great of a movie to me. It could have gone someplace great, and it didn't. And so I'm going to give it a 2.
Well, what's funny is when it came out and we watched it, we posted a review, like a review on the Instagram page.
Yeah.
But because we were covering it this season, I took it down. Like I took
I didn't know that.
From the highlights.
Oh, you took it down.
I could find it, but I have no idea where it is. But I feel like that's probably what you gave it before.
I think
right?
so.
You know, I think for me, I did kind of enjoy it a little bit more the second time around, but I was just so upset with... I mean, because I feel like the true horror of this movie is them having to go to this conversion camp and what happens to Stuart, right? Like, because that could have happened to all of them. But, like, it started off and I thought, okay, this is your typical, like, camp slasher. It's going to be great. But we didn't get any of that. I didn't feel like a slasher movie at all. It just felt like a few people got killed there towards the end. Like, you know, all the camp people. But it wasn't a slasher movie, which is how it was promoted. So, I think it was misleading. I don't remember what I rated it the first time. But if I had to, I'd probably give it like a 2.5. I was just there were some characters that I really liked. There were some characters that I really didn't like. And people listening might kill me for this, but Theo Germaine, is not a good actor at all. To me, I feel like so many other people could have played that role and did it better. I thought the standout performances in this movie, obviously Kevin Bacon's good. Like, we can gloss over that. But I thought Carrie Preston and her little small minor role was fan-fucking-tastic. And Anna Chlumsky, whatever her name is, to me, it's kind of like what do you call a one-hit pony?
One-trick pony?
One-trick pony. Like, to me, she's not bad. I don't think she's bad in it, but I'm just like, I mean, she's just like grown-up Vader, really mad. Like, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, but I'd give it a 2.5. Kind of with you, though, like, I never intended to watch it again. And when we added it to this list, I remember being like, God damn, am I going to sit through
We had to add it to this season.
Yeah, we had to. I think parts of it work, but a lot of it, it's just very misleading. Like, I wanted a slasher movie, and that's not what I got. Mike.
I had so many preconceived notions about this movie going into it because it's been out a year. I've heard a lot of things, mostly not great. So I kind of went into it in a pretty my expectations were very low.
Yeah.
So then maybe you were pleasantly surprised.
So I think that reverse psychology kind of worked in my favor. Now, with that being said, there was plenty of things that I did not like about it. I did not like the Glee moment at all. I thought, this is a fucking horror movie, and I don't like that.
Got it.
So the characters were fine. I actually didn't mind most of them. I did think it was stupid that we had 20 campers and we were only introduced to 6.
Yeah.
Like, that was kind of ridiculous to me.
Well,
that was weird.
And just to play off of the slasher thing, like, okay, in a slasher movie, you normally have a lot of characters that you don't really care about because they're going to get killed off, right? So, like, they had opportunity to, like, really run with that and kill off some counselors. We didn't get that. Now, by the end of it, we obviously know why the counselors aren't dying. But I'm just saying, like, they could have put a different spin on it.
They have no names, they have no lines.
It stopped being horror film, like a slasher film for me when I realized that it was just like a revenge film.
Yeah.
So, like, because that's kind of what it was. It was just, they had a mask on. So
Well, and not even like a scary revenge film. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, they had a purpose. Like, we knew from the first kill, really, that, okay, so now we're killing the counselors. So now we already know what the motive is. So it just kind of took the fear aspect out of it a little bit. All of that to say, I'm going to be right on the fence with it. I'm just going to give it a 3.
A 3. I mean, I think that's respectable. You know, thinking about it, I almost think I would have enjoyed this movie more if the main character was Molly. And we're going through the movie through her eyes. Like, we know it's a revenge movie from the get-go, and we're watching her kind of go back and forth between being the counselor that doesn't really know what's going on to the girl that's actually doing all the murders. Yeah. That would have been a more interesting story to me.
Yeah.
And I probably would have liked it more. I wouldn't have minded that it wasn't a slasher like it was promoted.
Well, yeah, because I kind of feel like, I think it was, what was it? Antebellum, when we talked about that movie. I knew from pretty early on what characters I wanted to get it. This movie, I didn't, because we weren't really like, I wasn't sure where we were at with everybody. And then once it finally switched and you were like, oh, she's going after the counselors, I don't know. There wasn't enough build up for me to be like, yeah, fuck Kevin Bacon, go get his ass. Like, it wasn't.
Well, yeah, I hated Sarah and Zane
more than him.
More than I did Kevin Bacon and his wife.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. I think, too, like, when we watched it the first time, I remember thinking, it's Molly. Because at one point, they were saying at the beginning when they're introducing everybody, they're like, oh, well, Molly's new here. It's her first year. Y'all go easy on her. And I was like, I don't know about it. Like,
yeah.
So to me, it was a little too predictable. Too, but you know, whatever, they tried.
Yeah, I think the
movie looks good.
Yeah, and I think that, like, I like the subject matter.
Me
like,
too.
I like the idea.
Me too.
I just feel like it was kind of poorly executed.
Yeah. Yeah. Totally agree.
Because they did well with, like, the character development. I thought that was fine as far as, well, with your main people.
Right.
Yes.
But, like, I mean, because I would have liked to have heard Big Girl's story that was jumping on the bed to Pink.
Yeah, you got Big Girl jumping on the bed. You got Bleach Blonde Boy that you never see again. There's a few other girls that I remember seeing that they don't ever have any lines. But, yeah, I don't know. I like the subject matter, and that's pretty horrifying. But on one hand, I'm like, okay, well, then don't market it as a slasher and just show it as kids at a conversion camp trying to escape. And, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like that would have been more interesting. Or, like I said earlier, have it be played out through Molly's eyes. I just feel like there's, like, it could have been executed better.
If you want to, like, apples and oranges here, but similar in the ways of, like, children being conditioned by adult figures and whatever. I mean, look how fucking great The Perfection was. And, and like, that is leaps and bounds from what this was.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, The Perfection was a revenge movie, too.
Yeah. So, like...
Yeah, you're right. That's a really good comparison, because The Perfection was leaps and bounds executed better. Like, the story was just better. you didn't have as many characters that were
And it kept,
diluting.
it obviously was very much the same as far as keeping you on your toes and guessing and whatever.
Yeah.
But, yeah, this was definitely no perfection.
No. It was not
No.
perfect.
No.
Pretty,
it was
pretty
not
please.
fucking perfect.
Thank you all so much for joining us. If you like what you hear, please like, subscribe, and rate the Horror Fried podcast, and catch up on all our previous episodes on your favorite streaming service. Links are available on our Instagram page. Once again, we'd like to thank our friend Dr. Gangrene for hosting Horror Fried Theater this season. Y'all can find him on Instagram, YouTube, and at his website, drgangrene.com. Now it's time to swap spit and hit the road. That is officially a wrap on season 2, y'all. Gentlemen, give yourselves a round of applause. We made it through another season.
Queer horror is over.
We are, of course, going to come back for season 3. If you have any suggestions on what you'd like for our topic to be for season 3, we are all ears. We have not even really discussed it that much between the 3 of us. We've thrown a few little ideas out there, but we are certainly open to suggestions, and we'll post something on the Instagram page for you guys to answer. We do have some things coming up, though, so a little laundry list before we head out. Fright Night Fridays is happening at the Groove again, right, Michael? You want to tell us about that?
This is our 6th annual, which I cannot believe, Fright Night Fridays.
And the second that we've been a part of.
Yes, that the Horror Fried podcast has been a sponsor of. Kicks off this September 29th at 8 p.m. We're playing The Howling. If you're in the Nashville area, come to the Groove, 1103 Kelvin Avenue.
Or if you just get a wild hair and want to visit.
Or if you want to, if you're at home and you want to watch it yourself, we're watching The Howling.
Yeah, tag us in it.
Yeah. I'm very excited. I always love, this is like my favorite thing to do at the store every year.
Yeah, and it's pretty much like an 80s theme.
Yes, we're doing
season,
The Howling.
Uh-huh.
We're doing Chopping Mall, The Lost Boys, and the 1988 The Blob.
Yeah. So it'll be a lot of fun. We are skipping 1 week because
Keith, Maggie, and I are going to Camp Crystal Lake.
Well, we're going to Camp Blood. It's a little
Camp Blood.
It's a little different. It's out in Georgia, but it's where Part 6, Friday the 13th, was filmed. So we'll be camping there that weekend. So we've got that going on. We are going to do a Halloween special. We haven't decided on a movie quite yet. I have a few ideas. I'm going to go ahead and throw out Spirit Halloween because I've never seen it. And I'm working there this year. And it's got your girl Rachel Lee Cook in it. Don't know if you knew that.
I haven't seen this either.
So I thought that might be a fun one to do. So we can circle back around there. And then we have partnered with our friend Clark, artist extraordinaire. And there's a calendar coming out. Hunks of Horror calendar. Men that make you scream. So it's 12 months plus an added bonus. It's a surprise. I'm not going to tell you who it is. But 12 months of your scream men, drawn pretty scandalously, I think. Mm-hmm. And if you pre-order, you do get some perks. So definitely check that out. The links are available in my bio. I think it's on our Instagram page. Yeah, it's in our Instagram bio. So definitely pre-order. We're basing the amount we order based on pre-order, so we will probably have some for sale after the fact, but you will not get all the goodies that come along with it, and there's a lot of really good stuff. And there's a picture of that posted on Instagram as well, so you can kind of see what you would get if you pre-order. And then later on, we will, of course, round out the year with our second annual awards ceremony. So if you guys have any ideas of categories that you might want to see this year, please let us know. We'll do the same ones we did last year, and those are all posted on Instagram as well if you want to take a peek, or you can listen. It's still available to listen on your favorite streaming service. Anybody else got anything they want to add?
I just want to thank everyone for listening to Season 2, and I also want to note that our Knife and Heart episode just beat a record.
It did.
Most listened to episode ever.
Which is crazy to me.
It is crazy.
So thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you for listening. Please keep listening. Spread the word. We're toying around with the idea of maybe doing some conventions at some point. We just haven't done it yet.
But you never know.
You never know
where your boys might pop up at.
Yeah. Yes. So we're definitely going to go to, well, I don't want to say definitely. I definitely want to go to Scarefest in Lexington. It just depends on if I can get off work because I'm a working boy. And as you can imagine, I cannot request any more time off in October. So hoping.
Tis the season.
Yes. So hoping I can get there. And I'd also like to give a shout out before we go to everybody that joined this season and participated in an episode. Our friend Clark was a part of our Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2 episode. Our friend Maggie joined us for the Fear Street 1994 episode. And then our Coffin Mama, Ashley, joined us for 2 episodes. Jennifer Tilly episodes. So she was on for Bound and for The Seed of Chucky. So we want to thank them. Y'all are welcome to come back anytime.
And Michelle, our favorite little Aussie, was on Jawbreaker.
Yes.
So thank all of you for all of that.
Yeah, we had a great time with y'all. Y'all can come back anytime. All right, well, that's it. Until next time, remember, respect, renew, rejoice, revenge.
Bye.
Bye.
I have zero interest in not being gay.